And we're alive. Hello. So I do have something that I need to note. Like, I actually did a good amount of the stuff for full. Did pretty much everything for Fulgora off stream. The good news, however, is that Fulgora ran out of. Is that the scrap mine I'd set up on Fulgora is empty, so you guys do get to see what I need to do there, anyways. Just let me empty all my stuff. I think in a second I'm actually gonna get up and get myself like a drink, not a soda, Powerade, maybe some chocolate milk. Like I think after or I get started on Moshine at the very least, I'll make myself a frozen pizza for dinner. Like that actually sounds pretty good. Had a bit of a close call with my hermit crab, who like I smelled something weird and I thought at first Tara had died, but fortunately for me it was a sweet smell, not like a fishy smell, which if that distinction if you're in is confusing, well basically if it was a sweet smell, if it was a fishy smell, that would likely mean Tara had died on me. I might as well design this ship first before. Is this overbuilding? Probably. Do I care? Not really. I have no idea what that screaming is before you ask. Almost forgot about the volume. Well, I doubt any of you who were wondering this, since I have never expressed an interest in doing so. I never brought this up on stream. I might as well make it official. You will never see me stream Roblox in light of recent events.
to make proper...
In fact, you know what? In the odd chance that I have someone not... In fact... Oh, God. Uh, okay, you know Dar, man. He has a Roblox channel. I had to do quite a bit of emergency maintenance, actually, on last night. Like, first the ship... I already know the island I'm gonna put my second base on. You know what I think I'm gonna do? You know what I think I've earned? A frozen stuffed crust margarita pizza. a tiny bit of a close call with my hermit crab Terra today. Like, I smelled something weird, and at first I thought Terra had died, which I unfortunately know what that smells like since, well, I've had a hermit crab die on me, and I'd rather not talk about it. But anyways, the good news is I realized, wait, that's not right, because it smelled sweet, whereas a dead hermit crab would smell fishy, and turns out that I just needed to toss Terra's old food. Let's pick up some stuff that I'll need. Might as well grab some. Supplies. This island I can definitely get. And I need to send Snuffy back to Navius anyways. You know what? I'm gonna go get myself that drink. Nothing I can really do until Snuffy gets back. Well, actually, now that I think about it, there is one thing I can do. Namely, I can go get some clip explosives. You know, it feels odd that the all chat option on Prism Live doesn't work. I normally don't like to lose bots, but you know what? In this case, I don't really care, actually. I don't know if I could keep if I was allowed to have, like, some more exotic animals and I could afford one. A puffin. Huh. You know what?
Making the optics.
Let's react to August the Duck's video on the whole Roblox controversy. Like, he's one of my favorite commentary channels.
Roblox CEO, try not to do the weirdest thing you can possibly do in any given situation you find yourself challenged. Impossible. Ladies and gentlemen, the massively popular game Roblox has been going through a rough time over these last few months. And in moves that are very foreign to massive corporations, it seems like every chance that they get to make things better, even slightly, they fumble in a way previously thought to be impossible. And over these last few weeks, they're reaching new heights. Now, if you've somehow stumbled upon this video and you don't know what Roblox is, welcome to the internet, I guess. I'm gonna be your guide. I feel like pretty much everybody's gonna have heard of Roblox these days because you're either young enough to have grown up with it or played it, or you're old enough to have children who are obsessed with it. But just in case you're neither of those things, I'll give you the bare bones. To put it simply, Roblox is a massive online game that is made up of a bunch of smaller games created within the Roblox engine. There's not really like one specific game that is Roblox. They all just share the same platform, with pretty much all of the games on Roblox being made by individuals or third-party developers. Now, with this being the case, there's not really like a specific age that Roblox is targeted to on paper, but in practice, it is very much so a platform that is predominantly used by children. It's estimated that nearly half of Roblox players are under 13, with a majority of Roblox players being under 18. And unfortunately, with this being the case, just like anything on the internet these days, where there's a large collection of children, there will be a large collection of people who want to prey on children. And more than really any other game of its kind right now, it seems, Roblox is experiencing what's essentially an epidemic of children being groomed and victimized as a result of their play.
You know, I've never really gotten the appeal of Roblox, like, at all. Like, I will admit part of it is actually that a large part of it is because of that video People Make Games did. Like, it basically exposed that the company was, like, super shady. Yeah, but, like, this only reinforced that decision. Like, unironically, it actually would have been better for Roblox if they just, like, announced, you know what, we're just going to let people like Schlep take over. Or predator hunting full time. Ah. I mean, there is one thing I can do that will actually, like, give me more room. As you can see, we've...
platform. Now sure, part of this is just because of the scale of Roblox. There's really just like nothing else on the internet that promotes the kind of personal interaction that Roblox does, while also having the insane amount of children that there are on Roblox. And while that's obviously not helping the situation, it's in no way, shape, or form the entire story. Moderation on Roblox has been dog shit for a long time now. They take a very reactive approach to moderation rather than preventative, and when one of the biggest issues on your website is children being groomed, if you're not really doing a whole lot to prevent that and really only reacting to it after it's already been done, that leaves a lot of time for life-ruining damage to already have happened. And who would have guessed, parents and lawmakers alike are not super cool with that. Over the last few months, Roblox has been getting absolutely fucking ass blasted by lawsuits left and right, and they've pretty much all been for the exact same reason, which is children becoming victims as a result of using Roblox in some way. Like I said, there's a number of these lawsuits.
You know what I'm actually tempted to do right now? You know what I mentioned that margarita pizza? I'm actually tempted to, like, put the oven on right now and cook it while on stream.
Roblox. The Louisiana Attorney General is calling Roblox a systemic public safety issue and a perfect place for pedophiles. There's also another huge one coming from the Dolman Law Group, which currently includes over 300 different families across.
This is actually something that's bipartisan, and believe it or not, like Ro Khanna, this congressman, which I have heard mixed things about, is actually looking into it, like, so you know what? That at least, I would say that's, like, a positive. And also Ted Cruz is apparently looking into it. Apologies if it seems like I'm slacking. It's just, well, I had to take my bed apart recently, and, well, I'm trying to make sure I don't lose track of the screws. You would not believe just how many bed bugs I found in there. Yeah, like, I will admit that I'm skeptical of Chris Hansen, like, after, not just with the whole Onision stuff, but also look up what happened with Davi Vanity from Blood on the Dance Floor. Like, of all things, that led to Chris Hansen interviewing Insane Clown Posse. I mean, ICP was kind of on a positive arc, since they also spoke since they were also, like, speaking out against the Confederates. Like, that's actually something they've been. That's actually one thing that's been pretty consistent, and I have to say, you know what? Fair enough. Unironically, I would actually say ICP is a better representation for Michigan than Kid Rock, since at the very least, East Juggalo culture is kind of inclusive. Like, while I do generally tend to imagine Juggalos as, like, white people, I don't... Yeah, that's another thing, but I don't really think there's anything about being a Juggalo that's exclusively, like, excludes black or Hispanic people or any other race. I wonder if anyone ever tried to shut down the gathering of the Juggalos on the grounds that it was a gang meeting. Which, by the way, was kind of like a ridiculous classification. Let's see here. Rocket fuel, ash. No, splitters. I did. I can always he's asked for more. All I gotta do now is get some rocket fuel up, then I can get this show up and running again. Yep, this is a regular occurrence. Anyways, let's get back to the video.
Kind of showing how this is like a genuine systemic issue. These aren't just one-off incidents, there is something about Roblox that causes this to keep happening. Now, just to get ahead of this, because I've seen this a lot on the internet, seems like a lot of people hear about stuff like this and have the mindset of like, well, yeah, but you should be watching what your kids do on the internet. And like, sure, that's true, but a lot of the responsibility still does fall on Roblox. You can't make billions of dollars a year advertising yourself to parents as a child-safe platform, as a kid-friendly, kid-safe place to play and have fun, and then leave the gates wide open for predators to come and prey on the children that you are advertising to. You just don't get to do that. Obviously, I'm sure some of these situations could have been avoided if parents were more closely monitoring their children, but at the end of the day, if you're going to make a platform that is very much so catered towards children, and you're going to accept $20 a week from millions of parents across the world buying their kids Robux, all the while advertising your platform as a kid-friendly space, it is absolutely your responsibility to make sure you are doing those things in good faith. Anyways, those two cases that I mentioned specifically are not the only cases open right now. There are multiple cases across the country that are ongoing, and there seems to be more and more being filed seemingly every week. There's been multiple this month alone. And these things happening so often on Roblox is bad enough, but there are multiple external factors that are like halfway related.
Do I want to add like
making the optics of this situation?
You know what? I think I do want to add like a buffer chest.
Just so much fucking worse. There's two in particular, and they're both so fucking bad in their own ways. The first one, and the one most people are talking about right now, is that recently a YouTuber known as Schlep, who's known for his like predator hunting, predator catching content on Roblox.
You know, I'm normally a bit skeptical of like the whole vigilante style, but Schlep, from what I have gathered, is actually someone who does things by the book. Like, I think YouTube should like put a ban to people like Vitaly. Obviously, and in fact, I think they have. But at least as long as you involve the authorities from the start, I'm
Roblox
fine with it.
Was not only banned from Roblox for doing predator hunting, but also was sent a cease and desist from Roblox for what he was doing. And given the timelines here, given what we know, it really seems like Roblox did this, not because of the bullshit vigilante rule explanation they've given, but because this guy was exposing a pretty bad side of Roblox during a time when these lawsuits are stacking on top of each other. According to Schlep, his operations have led to 6 different predators getting arrested, and in the past, he's gone to Roblox with evidence, chat logs, videos, reports that he's filed in the past, and he says the company did nothing. But suddenly, when there's a new lawsuit getting sent to Roblox every week because so many children are being groomed on their platform, now they're going to cease and desist and ban this guy because he's breaking Roblox terms of service. You'd think if that was actually the case, they would have done that when he went to them and said, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. Are you guys going to do anything? But they didn't. They wait until their PR could not be any worse, and they start doing damage control, it seems. And even if they're not doing damage control, why the fuck is this your priority? You've got lawsuit after lawsuit piling up about how your platform is dangerous, how you're endangering children, how you're profiting off of children being endangered, and you go to your team of lawyers and you're like, hey, so let's get working on that cease and desist for that guy trying to bring awareness to that. Got the fucking state of Louisiana suing you, and you're like, you know what? I think it's time that we start a legal battle with a YouTuber. So obviously, that's bad enough. If that was the only thing they decided to add to their public image right now, this situation as a whole would still have horrible optics. Because doing that, especially at a time like this, really makes it seem like they are not all that focused on child safety. They're focused on damage control. They're not worried about making the world's biggest platform for children more safe for children. They're focused on people not knowing that it's not a safe platform for children. But they've decided to take it a step further. A couple of years ago, you might have heard of this and thought it was a joke, but unfortunately it's not. The higher-ups at Roblox started to float the idea of making...
Oh yeah, the Roblox dating sim. Like, everyone I know online hated this idea. Like, it would be one thing if Roblox was like thinking, you know what, let's add like Rune Factory style. Let's allow people to make games with like Rune Factory style dating. Like, that I could at least have like some kind of precedent. But like actual dating, yeah, no. Like, if it was like the dating games from like, oh, say, Rune Factory, I actually would be willing to go to bat for Roblox to defend it, because honestly, those are harmless. But actual dating by Roblox, No, like, honestly, I'm half surprised that we don't see, like some, like, diehard communist bread tubers say this is why capitalism is evil or something, which there certainly is an argument to be made that that was something they made with shareholders in mind. Now I'm just imagining Bad Empanada or some other bread tuber just rallying against Roblox. Like, get DJ Mule on this. It's like, his reputation's already trash. Might as well let him just crash out on this and...
Making a fucking Roblox dating service. Now, obviously, when this idea has been pitched, it's been pitched as something that will be for adults only, but, I mean, I don't know how much better that really makes it. I know that adults play Roblox, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with an adult playing Roblox, but at the end of the day, it is a platform that's predominantly used by people under 18. So for the CEO to be looking for ideas to bring more adults to the platform, that's a little bit of a weird business decision in general. Usually most platforms, especially a fucking video game, are gonna pick a target demographic and they're gonna try and stick with that target demographic. Obviously, you can't do anything about people outside of your intended demographic playing your game normally. You can do things about people outside of your target demographic using your platform for malicious purposes, which Roblox has seemingly failed to do. But my point is that generally, when it comes to an online game where players are constantly interacting with people, most people are not gonna be like, hey, let's make a game where 9-year-olds and 30-year-olds are interacting with each other. So any sort of move to specifically bring people over the age of 21 onto your platform when the average age of your user is under 13 is weird. To do it specifically within the context of making it a fucking dating platform, that's genuinely the worst fucking idea I've ever heard of in my life. Roblox has had this issue of being sort of a predator stomping ground and a place where children become victims for a long time. Lawsuits like this just take a while to build, so the CEO seemingly not being all that concerned with making the platform more child-friendly and more concerned with bringing more adults onto the platform is very, very weird. And also, not to be judgmental, but I'm gonna be. If you're an adult and Roblox is the online platform you're gravitating towards to try and find a relationship, I'm sorry, but that's weird as fuck. Like I said, doing this at all...
Yeah, here's the thing, like, I could maybe understand someone like, I remember hearing a story about two people meeting on World of Warcraft, and, like, this documentary, I think it was CNBC, ran a while back. I don't remember, but, like, I do remember that it featured, like, Second Life and Spore pretty prominently, and, like...
Having this idea in the first place is crazy enough. But a month ago, the CEO fucking doubled down on this. You are in the midst of getting slapped across the face by lawsuits about child safety.
Like, hypothetically, if, like, say...
Yeah, whatever. We want to be bringing the kind of adult who looks towards Roblox...
Steam was to announce they were launching a dating app. I would be sketchy of that, even though I'm pretty sure that most of Steam's audience is actually of age, but...
Whatever, you do you. But if you're going
Roblox and dating app is probably, like, one of the most disastrous possible combinations. Like,
I played enough RuneScape in my life to see that shit go down, and that's a game that these days is basically only played by adults. You should not be looking
right alongside Angry Slug and YouTube platform.
Take it to heart, please. But like I was saying, if you're an adult and you're going on to Roblox to find a relationship, how do I put this? I don't think many parents would be comfortable with you around their kid. Again, that might come across kind of harsh, but it's just the truth. There's a million dating apps out there these days. There's also just, you know, the outside world. Coffee shops, bars, clubs, activity groups for adults. You know, there's a lot of ways out there to meet your special someone.
You know, here's the thing. If he was saying like, I want on like some way that people look onto like allow people to, like directly link Discord accounts so they could I plan things up. That would be slightly better, I guess, but if he's trying to say like he wants people to connect, there's gotta be better things you could do other than this.
Roblox should not be on your radar. And for the CEO to have this fucking hard on for this idea about putting it on people's radar, it's just very strange. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg. Like I said, I think those are the two worst things that are adding to this situation right now, but there's also the issue that so many of the popular games on Roblox are like weird dating sims or worse. There was that big controversy about the condo games, which were basically games that were just for like making avatars fuck. You'd think something like that would not really be able to bypass the Roblox mod.
Yeah, like condo games or something you'd think Roblox would crack down on, but they haven't. No Text to Speech has done like several videos where he just like exposes how bad Roblox is at policing them.
Moderation, but like I mentioned earlier, Roblox seems to have a very reactive moderation mindset. You know, they wait for shit to happen and then like a year later they do something, but it doesn't really seem like they're putting in the time to make these systems that prevent these kind of things from happening to begin with. Like it just seems like they're more concerned about shit like making sure the Robux transaction is going to go through smoothly when you want to buy Robux to make your tits bigger in a condo game, but God forbid they put in a system that just doesn't allow games where your character gets naked. Obviously that's kind of a generalization, kind of an exaggeration, but only kind of. It just seems like with every opportunity that they've been given, the higher-ups at Roblox have...
You know what I'm actually considering doing while I wait for, or like...
After a while, it kind of starts to get hard to write those off as just like bad
supercapacitors and
thing chosen under pressure. You kind of start to see a pattern, and you're like, why does
electromagnetic science packs just run?
Are beginning to step in here. These aren't one-off incidents.
I'm actually gonna like heat up the oven, and since I do want to make myself a frozen margarita pizza.
You know, it's really shitty that it had to come to this. You can't unruin these children's lives. No sort of decision, no sort of settlement from these lawsuits is going to take back what the kids had to experience. So, you know, it's sort of like a lose-lose situation. There's not really going to be a winner here. It's just going to be which outcome is less of a loss. So that's really fun to think about. Well, guys, what are your thoughts? Like I said...
You know, I'm reminded of this joke of a Dose of Buckley where he complained about not getting, like, being a victim, after what he was talking about, like a lawsuit being settled that involved molestation, but, like, I'm pretty sure that if you asked him seriously, he would say, yeah, it's a good thing I wasn't molested. Like, that is the sort of thing that can mess you up. And people don't always heal. Well, let's see here. Well, Hassan might actually have something that'll tank. Is currently might be facing a scandal that can actually tank his career. Since the whole LOL overruled sex pest thing is actually he's starting to catch wind. Like, for the record, my stance with allegations is it's fine if you want to believe them immediately, but you should at the very least let someone give their side of the story before passing final judgment. You know what? That frozen pizza is tempting my aim, so I'm gonna go turn my oven on. I'll get another video up and I'm back. I guess this you could say this is a React day.
This whole thing would be bad enough if Roblox was just facing these lawsuits and that was it. But when you start to like stack all of these things happening at the same time, you really start to question what the fuck is going on over there. Like, what is going on as you climb the Roblox corporate ladder that is leading to shit like this happening in so many different aspects of the company? Not here to speculate, not here to spread rumors, but it just is weird. Something seems off. Like I said, part of it is definitely just because there are so many kids who play Roblox, but there's a lot of kids on a lot of different platforms playing a lot of different video games. But this just seems to be sort of unique, and it's an issue that I hope we see fixed very shortly. Will we? I've learned to not get my hopes up. See ya.
I forgot that I need to like unplug a bunch of my appliances before I use my oven. Hmm. All I really need to do now is just like install. want to install, like, another... Is this overkill for the amount of... or the planet I'm going for? Probably, but you know what? I'd much rather be safe than sorry. All I really gotta do now is add the combinators, and then this is ready to go. You know, I'm... You know what? You know what I would actually find hilarious is if Disney did like a version of their Marvel What If, except instead of like having like actual questions, like they just did like a bunch of shitpost episodes, like what if Taserface's name was literal? Alright, time to bring in the nuclear fuel. If only there was like a not command. There is one thing I can do to solve the green circuit shortage. Although I will need some red. Need a red chest or two first. Yeah. All the pink science? Feels odd that we is on the way. Don't want to clog up the belt with asteroids that get produced. Honestly, the thing I wish the biggest thing I hate about not being like a successful VTuber is the fact that I it actually cost me a pretty significant amount to go to something like Gamescom, which I do actually want to do simply because just how many cool games they'd show off. Uh, there we go. Well, it looks like I can't really get any more supercapacitors, so you know what? I'm just gonna head back to Navius. Decent, call it a stream. No, there is a lot stream Sunday, mainly because, well, I don't know if how fumigating my apartment will work, but anyways, thanks for tuning in. I'm Andrew, and I'll see you on my next assignment. Later.
mentioned this a few times over the last couple of months. It seems to always raise some eyebrows, spawn question marks, so I figured just make a whole video here talking about it. It's true, I bought a farm, and I don't mean that as a euphemism for I died. I'm still very much alive. In fact, I evolved into a good old-fashioned, red-blooded patriot.
Bro, someone in the chat saying he deserved it. Like,
Oh, and before I go, free schlep.